Hello, this is Nolmar, and I'm part of the console team for Dungeon Defenders 2. Today, Trendy will be releasing more console seats for Dungeon Defenders, and will be lifting the NDA. So what I was planning to do was going through a few introductory videos for the game, and let people see what the game is all about, and the differences between Dungeon Defenders 1 and Dungeon Defenders 2, and see if it's maybe something for you to check out. So, without further ado, let's click the play button. Okay, first time since Wipe that I loaded the game, and first time since I installed it through Steam. So, it took a bit to load, but now we're back. Okay, so to start off, let's talk a bit about different heroes. You have the Huntress, the Monk, the Apprentice, and Squire. To start off, the Apprentice is your typical trap type of builder. You can have explosive traps, which is small traps that blow the enemies that step on it. It has currently quite a small range and might not be the best tower, but it certainly does it damage. So if it comes a lot of enemies at once, you will most likely trigger it and do a lot of damage. Geyser traps is the tower that combos most with the different abilities of the other towers. Geyser traps will drowse the enemies in water, so you can in theory combine it with lightning damage to stun the enemies, or ice damage to make them frozen solid. Geyser trap will shoot the enemies up into the air, and by doing so you can use anti-air towers to shoot them down. And you can also combine it with another of the Huntress's abilities, which is that you do higher damage to air enemies, and when the enemy has been shot off up by the geyser traps, it counts as an air enemy before it falls down. You can also use geyser trap in combination with lightning towers to make a wall that small mobs can't get past. Of course, certain big mobs will get through, but you can use your heroes to fend off those. Poison Dart Tower is your typical damage over time tower. It has quite a long range and shoots in a line. Just okay damage, but far from my favorite. Blaze Balloon is another AoE tower like the burning trap from Dungeon Defenders 1. The thing with this tower is that it's most likely the tower that does the most damage of everything in the game. So at least currently it's the tower that does the most damage, and after a while we will probably see a lot of these be used in the game. Right now walls might not be the best solution, and doing damage fast is probably the best way of dealing with enemies. Over to abilities. We have concussive shots, which shoots 3 fire darts at the enemies. It does a bit of damage and is your typical normal damaging attack. Then you have Oil Flask, which puts oil on the enemies. Combine this with concussive shots to do extra damage, seeing as it will set the enemies on fire and do damage over time damage. Piercing shot is the same as in Dungeon Defenders 1. You shoot a piercing arrow through all of the enemies and does quite a lot of damage. Heal Self is an ability that all the heroes has, which as you can guess heals you completely after over time. This one costs no mana anymore, so it's nice to use when you are in a pinch and have the time to stay from the enemies for a bit. Next, over to the Monk. Yeah, we have Lightning Aura, which is pretty much the same as in Didnt Defenders 1, but the speed that it attacks, its attack rate is far slower than in older Didnt Defenders game. So in theory it doesn't seem as much as an aura as it looks like a trap. And sometimes enemies just walk right through it without ever getting damaged. But if you combine this with, for example, a geyser trap, then enemies will be stunned and stay inside the aura as long as they get shot up again by the geyser trap. So filling a lightning aura with geyser traps all around will be quite a wall and hard to get through for most enemies. Boost aura boosts the damage and yeah, makes defenses just better against enemies. It might have speed and range, but yeah, because of a bug that was in the game earlier, I'm not quite sure right now. At least it has quite a damage boost all the same, and it's worth using in yeah, as few times, but yeah, it feels like a waste of defense units sometimes actually, but yeah, it does what it says, it boosts the auditors. Serenity aura heals every second. It only works on heroes. It doesn't cost too much though, so yeah. I haven't seen a use for this tower in the game as of yet, but it might come maps where you have to stay more alive with your hero, but at the same time, as it is right now, staying alive isn't that much of a problem, since you can just stop and heal whenever you want to, and it doesn't cost any mana at all. Then again, if hardcore mode with permanent death is added into the game, then it would be a whole other case, then we will see a lot of these. But as it is right now, this tower is worthless in my opinion. Then we have Skyguard Tower, which is the best anti-air tower in the game. It spins around and shoots at enemies, and combining this with, for example, a geyser tower will let it shoot down enemies that get shot up by the geyser, and it does quite a lot of damage, so it's pretty neat. But considering air enemies right now, it might sometimes feel wasted, but as I said, combine it with things like geyser trap to make those into air enemies, so you can do a lot of extra damage. Over to the abilities. Pole Smash is the usual just hit the ground with some extra AoE effects type of skill. It doesn't cost too much, and yeah, it's pretty nice to do some extra damage and have enemies stay away from the target. Chi Blast is your type of knockdown attack. It knocks back enemies quite a bit, and against stronger enemies you can use it to push them off the edge of somewhere and into a pit, thus killing them and making harder enemies not so hard anymore, to say it that way. Some enemies has a lot of health and it's just a pain because they work like a tank, and the towers won't target the smaller enemies before the big one is taken out. So yeah, take out the big one by pushing it down into the pit, and you have yourself quite a good ability to use. Next we have Heroic Wave, which heals and makes heroes stronger for a short while. The heal is not really needed considering how you can heal yourself, but yeah, the damage boost can be quite nice, but it uses a lot of mana to use the skill, and yeah, it depends on if you have enough mana to spare or not. Usually you have a lot of the combat mana, so this shouldn't be a problem, but in harder situations you might not have as much as you want. Okay, over to the apprentice. we have the Flame Burst tower, which is your fireball type of tower. It shoots fireballs at the enemies.